edition of the Foursquare Show. Coming at you here is Eric and Joe. We are recording here on a February 23rd, and it's been a while since we've had a show here. Apologies, life has gotten in the way. Got a lot of things going on. I think we all do. Um, I did do a show. Check it out about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was just me rolling out the new website, foursquareworldchampionship.org. Check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, Joe, it's been a while since we've
It,
all met. Dan isn't here, by the way. No Dan yet. He might be joining us, but if not, it's just Joe and I for today.
yep. Yeah,
Um,
it's been a hot minute. Like you said, life gets in the way, but also we've all been working on the Foursquare World Championships behind the scenes. Um, as Eric mentioned, he rolled out a new website a few weeks ago, and we have a lot more to show you today, everyone. So
we do.
sit tight, buckle up. Eric and I have a lot to share.
We have a lot to share. We're excited to share what we're about to share. Before we share and get into all that, quick updates specifically pertaining to what Joe just mentioned, which is that yes, we have been working behind the scenes quite a bit. And a couple of quick updates. I think it's safe to say, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's safe to say that we have a date. It's
Eric,
not,
we have a date.
we have a date. It's
We
like
have a date for the
not,
championships.
it's not 100% official yet, which honestly frustrates me because it takes some time to go through the red tape and all the paperwork and all the forms and getting people to, do what they need to do, which I'm sure they are, but it just takes a while. But I think
Do
we
you
are
want to
now,
share it or do you want me to share it?
Joe,
That's
the
your
floor is
call, buddy.
yours. No,
All right.
you go. You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone who plays Foursquare, the tentative and almost official date of the Foursquare World Championship for 2026 is May 9th.
There it is. And we have a poster flyer, which I'm now sharing, which we've put together,
Yes.
reflecting the almost official date, which I very much don't think is going to change, which is why we feel comfortable communicating this here. May the 9th, um, Saturday. It's going to be a little bit earlier in the day than historically it's been because of the fact that, as we've covered in past shows, we are moving our venue as well. We are going to the moving to the Lake Region High School, which is technically, I didn't know this, technically actually not in Bridgeton. It's in Naples.
That
I think it's close to each other, right? Um,
it's actually right next town over.
Okay. But Bridgeton Rec is definitely still sponsoring the event, so it's all thanks to our friends at the Bridgeton Recreation Department.
Yes.
Um, and so yeah, because of the venue, and also this, as some of you may already know, we have a good turnout for children who come and participate in the children's division. And a lot of them are coming from far away. So, our plan is to have the event over, by 5 o'clock. So, versus like 8 o'clock in years past. So it gives a little bit of time for, commuting and things like that. Um, Feel free to pre-register. You can go to the QR code, which brings you to the website. Check out our socials for updates. This flyer is going to be communicated out. We have an official date. We're going to hopefully be sending out an email soon. Um, any other updates other than what we're going to discuss here in this show? I'm trying to. I know we talked all about. Did we talked all about like the reason why we're changing venue and all the
Yeah,
enhancements, did
yeah.
we?
So we we discussed why we're changing the venue, which for a quick recap, you know, basically past years, pre-COVID, we were at the Bridgeton Academy for many years. Post-COVID, it was relocated to the Bridgeton Town Hall. And for anyone who's attended the event at the town hall, it's very small. Um, so due to what's the proper term here? It for safety reasons, and for more room, of course, we decided that we were going to try and relocate the event at a different venue. And luckily, with the help of Bridge and Recreation and athletic directors, um, we decided we're going to go to the Lake Region High School. Um,
And you, Joe.
and
I mean, Joe went on he went on a little scouting mission and checked.
I did some back road traveling not too long ago. And so the options, ladies and gentlemen, was the Lake Region High School and the Bridgeton Elementary School. Based on um, the, the size of the rooms, the gyms, etc. It was more efficient and safer to go at the Lake Region High School. And as Eric had mentioned earlier, the paperwork went in, so we're still finalizing. But it's I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot, if you will, but it's almost certain that it's May 9th at Lake Region High School.
Yeah,
The reason for
basically, sorry,
the reason for
basically,
the date change, some of us had personal things going on at the
yeah,
initial date. So
yeah, exactly. And basically, all the forms have been submitted. Now it's just a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the lowercase i's and j's. Don't forget about those lowercase j's that you have to dot. People like to forget about those lowercase j's.
I do.
Um, yeah, so I could tell you're one of those guys. I could tell. Um, yeah, I just thought of something as well, Joe. Do you think Dan might be on a little protest? He might be protesting. I feel like he might be protesting because I have bad news to deliver to our fans and especially you Dan
I was gonna have
fans.
Dan deliver his own bed.
Yeah, well, I just kind of let the cat out of the bag. You can probably guess at this point. Unfortunately, Dan, unless something changes, is not going to be able to attend the championships this year. Obviously, I think you all know he's from Houston. Obviously, it's quite a trek for him to make it out to Maine, and it is Mother's Day weekend. By the way, on that Sunday, which hopefully doesn't conflict with too. As a matter of fact, that'd be a great thing. Bring your mom out, whether there's a fan or to
I
compete in the women's division, right?
I was right about to say, it's like, hey children, if you wanna do something for your mom, you should register her in the championships. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing more than what moms want to do is hang out with their families, their kids.
Yes, yeah, and have some
So it's a
fun and
win-win. It's a win-win.
absolutely. Now, I mean, championship is the Saturday before, so technically, it may not get in the way, but depending on where you're at and what your situation, it may. So, anyway, Dan is at this point unable to get away during that weekend, which is obviously certainly understandable. I feel terrible, but there's really not much we can do. We went through a lot of different dates, a lot of different scenarios, and went all over the place. And finally, we had to kind of just narrow it down, make a decision, and it is what it is. But he'll be there in spirit. Hopefully, we're going to live stream. We haven't discussed the details of that yet, but um, anyway, I hope Dan isn't mad at us. Anywho. Let's move on. So the big agenda item, if you will, for today's show, um, is we wanted to actually show you the layout of the court. Again, as Joe was mentioning, we definitely have a quite a bit more room in the high school than what we've been accustomed to in the town hall, which is great, mainly for safety reasons and convenience and things like that. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and pass it over to Joe. I think Joe's going to visually kind of show his screen and kind of talk through it a little bit. There's a lot of different lines and grids, and it may kind of look like the Matrix at first until you get used to it and see it, but I'm sure Joe
Yes.
will help you
And
visualize it. So,
before I share my screen, I'm also gonna state that we're also going to be implementing a couple new rules this
yes,
year, which I
yes,
do believe we have discussed about it.
we have.
Um,
Yeah,
but we'll reinstate them here. And so with that, I will share my screen. It's going to be this guy. Just let me know when you see the screen.
thumbs up.
Okay, so here, so everyone, this is the how do I say this? This is pretty much the layout that we're anticipating today. Well, for the championship. Uh, all right. A lot of colors, a lot of numbers. We're gonna start one by one. So first things first is this: your purple lines here that I've highlighted. These are the four square courts. Okay. Um, these courts are 10 feet away from each other. They're also 10 feet from the walls. The blue lines here that I'm highlighting, these are the outlines of the bleachers. So at the Lake Region High School, their gymnasium shows they have bleachers on both sides of the gym. For this particular layout, we're showing that the bleachers on the left side of the gym are recessed into the wall, so they're not pulled out. On the right side here, we're showing this blue line that I have highlighted where my cursor is. This is how far the bleachers would be completely pulled out, okay? With that, this cross-section area here, this is the...
That's the pit of the alligators, right? That's where we're putting the alligators.
No,
No,
there's no
shoot, dang
alligators,
it,
Eric.
dang it.
I
All right.
texted you this, no alligators. This isn't Lake Placid. And so this hashed area is one section of the bleachers pulled out. So this section, I just guesstimated roughly 20 feet. We'll actually know when we start setting things up. But we are going to have the middle section of bleachers pulled all the way out for uh, anyone who wants to come to attend and watch. Players who need a break, they have a place to sit and everything.
Yeah, just let me know if I could jump in real quick,
Yeah, of
Joe.
course.
Again, a lot of you who have attended the event before, especially again with the last few years at the town hall, certainly can appreciate and understand the very much lack of room that spectators and really any one of us, had. We basically had fold-up chairs along the sides. Sometimes you get trampled over from a running, somebody trying to get the ball and all that. So having even a portion of stands, bleachers, if you will, are going to be huge. So,
Yep. I
um,
mean,
good
for
stuff.
those like myself who have played pre-COVID, it's going to be nice to have bleachers again.
Yeah.
So, um, what else? Also, there will be access to the men's and women's locker rooms, which are shown here on the left. Um, don't ask me which one's which because didn't, I didn't, I was like, oh, okay, those where the locker rooms are. Perfect. Boom. All right, cool. Got it.
I think we can figure
Um,
that one out. Yeah,
yeah.
we can. Yeah.
What else?
And that's where the
Oh,
bathrooms are, by the way, obviously, as well,
yep.
where the locker rooms are. Yep.
This block down here, this little white hash block here, this is the entrance into the gym. These white lines that I have highlighted here, those are the standby lines to get out into the courts, which we'll discuss in a few
Yeah.
moments. And the red dashed line that, is kind of going all around here, this is the rough dimension of the basketball court. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone? Other than that,
Joe, I think I'll just note, speaking of the basketball court, uh, so, we have the four square court lines, which I think we're all used to.
yep.
There's the out of play zone lines, which we haven't talked
What
about
we haven't
yet,
talked
but
about that. I
we're
was right
getting
about to
there.
bring it. I was
We're getting there. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that, of course, there's going to be the actual basketball court lines on the gym. So there's going to be a lot of lines. Again, I think we're used to that, but just wanted to point that out. We didn't. we're not at a point yet where we have a dedicated 4 square court with
Yep.
just those lines and whatnot. So just keep that in mind.
So the next lines I want to discuss, which some of you are probably looking at saying, Eric, Joe, what's going on with these yellow lines here? Well, great question, guys. These yellow lines are actually the out of play zone lines. Now, if some of you who have watched our previous episodes, um, we decided to implement an out of play zone moving forward. Now, we decided the out of play zone would be a 10-foot zone from the edge of the 4 square court out.
Yeah.
So when I designed, well, not designed, but when I laid out the courts here, each court has 10-foot spacing between the left wall here that I have highlighted and to the back wall here. So you got 10 feet between each court to the walls, etc. Now, when we go to tape the lines, we're going to be taping obviously the 4 square courts, but we're only going to be, now Eric, please correct me if I'm wrong. We're not going to be taping all of the interior lines here, right? Because that would get too confusing. I think we're only
I
doing borders. I think
believe
we're doing the
yes.
outer,
Yes, I believe
because the
yes.
reason now,
They're there. They're invisible lines and they're not going to literally physically be there. Um, right? So
so
because
I
yeah.
guess I can explain a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, guys, when we're on the courts here, these yellow lines that I have shown here, those won't actually be there. This is what overall it should look like. Um, Probably delete these guys because we won't need them either, because we already know that's 10 feet.
Actually, Joe, we probably need to discuss this because I'm not sure if it makes sense to not have those lines now that I think it might get a little hard to
I
manage.
think the only lines we really do need to have for the outer play is for the right side.
Mhm.
Now, let me discuss on this a little bit more. So, everyone, as I just mentioned, each court has a 10-foot perimeter around the court for an out of play zone. So let's take court number 1 here. From this court to this court here is 10 feet. So court 1 and 3 share this out of play zone. Okay. Same thing in this general area here. Court 1 and 2 share. 2 and 4 here. So this is just, Eric, this is just our out of play zone. But
Yes.
however, on the right side, I think we should be putting a taped line here just to show the edge of that outer play zone, because there's still going to be space between.
Yeah.
Again, this section of bleachers won't be pulled all the way out. This is going to be all empty space where our standby line is. So we really should have a taped line down here. So,
I'm
go ahead.
I agree with you, Joe, and thank you. I mean, I'm visual and seeing it while you explain it is, I mean, and I've gone through it with you, is very helpful. I hope everyone is understanding. But I guess what I'll add specifically pertaining to the out of play zone, again, as Joe mentioned, like if you have any questions about what that is or why we're doing it, I strongly recommend to go back and listen to some of our previous shows, and we will cover it in maybe some of the emails that we'll be sending out.
So
Go ahead, Joe.
I want
Yeah.
to one up you on that real quick. So, as Eric mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, as well as discussed the last episode, Eric has rolled out a new website. As part of his website, he also has a discussion board.
Yes.
So if you could, if you have any questions regarding the out of play zone,
Yes.
as Eric said, you can go back to previous episodes, watch them. But if you don't want to, you can certainly go onto his website and go to the discussion board and post that question, and we will happily answer it for you.
Yes. App. Thank you for that, Joe. Definitely.
Helping
Look
you
at
with your
that.
website, buddy.
I love it. I love it. And then it's not just my website; it's our website. But yes, I got you. Um, I
Oh,
feel
there's
like
another thing. There's another thing that we need to discuss.
you're gonna talk about the wall with the
Yes,
yeah. Look
that
at that. Same
I
wavelength.
am not happy about.
Yes, Joe's not
But
happy about this. He got overviewed.
so,
He got it was a
ladies,
close 2-1 vote.
so as Eric just mentioned, the walls from court 2 around the perimeter of the left side down to court 5, these 4 courts border the exterior wall of the gym. So there's a 10 feet from the court to the wall. By a 2-1 vote, it was decided that because the wall is 10 feet, you cannot play off the wall. I voted against it because I personally, it's a challenge. But if you are in court 2, 1, 3, or 5, you cannot play against the wall.
Right. And
Courts,
I mean, technically you can't play against the wall in any of the courts, but they really only apply to courts 1, 3, and 5. Well, I guess possibly 2 and 6, right? But
well, no, two because you're 10 feet from this back wall here, where my cursor is.
oh yeah, okay.
You are 10 feet from there.
Yeah.
For court 6, you're not 10 feet from. You're more than 10 feet away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So then we would probably want to put another out of play zone line on the bottom there
yes,
as
that is
well.
correct. We
Yeah,
would.
to represent where that is. Okay. And
Correct.
just again, I don't think we want to get into the out of play thing that much, but it really all aligns. So I just want to mention real quick, and again, I echo what Joe said. Go to the website, ask away any questions, check out our old videos. We have it now in the rule book, which again we'll be sharing and showing. But honestly, as we've covered, the out of play zone is honestly probably only going to be applicable for the men, to be candid. It's a rule for everyone, but I don't think I've seen any, what is it, age 14 and below, I think is what it is for the children, and 15 and up for men's in the divisions. I think that's what it is. So I don't know if I've ever seen a child make a slam in a way that is going to make the ball land in the out of play zone. It's possible, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't know if I've ever seen it in the women. I'm sure they're capable, but I've never seen it. It's really, and it's, by the way, very few and far between when it happens in the men division as well. But again, as we've very much covered, safety and all the other reasons why we're doing this. So we're spending a lot of time, which I think is warranted, but we're spending a lot of time talking through this because we want everybody to understand and whatnot. But I don't think it's going to even come up and happen that often. I think it could and it would and it has enough for us to obviously implement this rule. But I just wanted to point this out that like this isn't a thing that is going to be, I don't think is going to be happening like every other play either. Do you agree, Joe? Well, I mean, based on what we've seen the last few years, at least, right? I mean,
I mean, pre-COVID, every year that I went, oh God, uh, at least 5 to 6
yeah,
slams.
total. You mean like in the whole thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it, I would
But
say that's not a
also,
lot,
here's the
right?
thing:
That's
is
probably like less than 5% of all the plays in the entire, right? Like,
the difference. It's also difference in venue, but we're we're astray from the topic. Let's get back to the layout. So, um, we discussed the out of play zone. We discussed the. All right,
Oh,
let's start talking
whiteboards?
about.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Now let's start talking about the standby lines here that I mentioned earlier. We're going to be reinstating this the day of the championships. Once everyone's there and we're going to start playing, we'll reinstate what I'm stating now. But essentially, for the first two rounds, which are the two general rounds, the actually, let me rephrase this. The first round, the first round, men and women will be playing in courts 1, 2, and 4.
By the way, that's
Therefore,
different.
this
I just, it's,
I will get there.
you getting there? All right.
So
All right.
this line here that I have highlighted, everyone, this will be the standby line for the men and women.
Yep.
For the boys and girls, they will be in courts 3, 5, and 6, and this will be their standby line down here. Now, these two rectangles that I have highlighted, those are whiteboards. That way we can track your outs. For round 2, we are now separating the men and the women. The men will be in courts 1 and 2. The women will be in court 4. This line will be kind of split into two, but the same general concept. They will be all lined up against this back wall. You look like you want to say something.
I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my virtual hand. Um, this may just be a matter of semantics, but just to clarify a quick thing that you said, the thing that's changed in what you just said is not the separation of the men and women in round two, because we did that before. The thing that's changed is the fact that the men and the women are playing together in round one. Last year, the women played with the children. And the reason we did that is because air balls, men and women both utilize air balls, children do not. So it didn't make sense to have the women play with the children really at all because of the variance in rule. So men and women are now together in round one. Boys and girls are together in round one. Round two is when we separate the men and the women. The children are going to stay combined together for round two as well, just because of the way that the courts are and how many we have. Championship round, of course, is when they all separate. I don't know if you want to speak to that real quick, Joe, or
Yep. So when it comes to the championships round, we're going to do the boys, women, and girls championship rounds at the same time. The boys will utilize court 2. The women will utilize court 3 back here. And the girls will utilize court 6 down here. For the men's championship round, we will utilize court number 4 right in front of the bleachers.
yeah, which will take place immediately after the
Yes.
three ones that you just said.
I think that primarily irons out the layout. Should we
Yes,
start discussing some of the amenities?
let's do that. One thing that I wanted to make, you had mentioned, Joe, that we have new rules and whatnot. I think we covered them all except for the, I think this is fairly minor. We did implement now a little serving area in square four for the children. There's going to be almost like a semicircle. Joe's not remembering this, but this is something that we discussed probably months ago, maybe even almost a year ago at this point. We can readdress it because I'm get a feeling Joe is not remembering this, but from the look on his face,
Does my facial
the
expression show that?
um, but yeah, we have a little. I don't know if I can't. You can't see my screen, my cursor, but there's a basically just a little semicircle, like at the corner of round of square four, which is the dedicated area for the children to serve from. Um, Once you serve, you can move and go wherever you want, but we want to make sure that the serve is occurring a little bit further back in the square. And then we also are going to try to implement the adults, the men and the women, to serve so that you have a your feet basically on like the corner of square four. I don't know how to describe
I
that without
think
showing a
I
visual,
don't
but
think we actually ironed that out yet. Because I now I'm remembering this conversation. I think we tabled it.
okay.
And then what ended up happening was we started going down the rabbit hole of looking for the new venue.
Okay. I have it noted in my meeting notes that we did, but
Oh, we did? Okay.
we can bring it back up. That's okay. Why don't we'll add that to the agenda for next time? How about that? You guys, or we can talk
Perfect.
about it offline, either way.
Either or.
Yeah. So, all right, that is possibly maybe a new little feature. We'll we'll circle back and confirm. New enhancements.
New enhancements. Okay. So, Lake Region High School has a. Let's talk about the cool one first, which
Yeah.
is the snack bar. So, through this entranceway, this goes into a hallway. Right in front of that entranceway is a snack bar that you'll be able to purchase snacks, drinks, etc. So that's new. We'll be able to have that amenity. Another thing that we'll be able to have access to is the speakers and audio system in the gym, and we'll also be able to utilize the time clock on the wall so we can properly time our um,
Two rounds.
tournament
Yeah.
rounds.
Yeah, and just yeah, so and I think that's awesome. I mean, the first round, 45 minutes. So we'll have it at 45 minutes and we'll just be countdown down. So we just know how long,
Yep,
how long you have. And then the same for round two, which is 25 minutes.
correct. Um, I think that's really about it. Am I missing anything?
I think the only other thing is I hate to mention this because this may not happen, but I'll say it. So the fine folks at Bridgeton Rec had mentioned the possibility of leveraging, I think, maybe their tablet or their laptop with a projector and possibly projecting um, what I think Joe Dan and I were talking about was maybe for the championship round having basically like a picture like a like a movie screen, but I mean not that big and great, but like a projector that just shows everybody's who's in it and their outs and like having that tally be displayed just like it was a scoreboard in any other sport. That's a possibility. We're not sure yet. The tech wise and the semantics and who's gonna possibly set all that up and maintain it and do it and stuff. So that's possible. But I think that's it, other than again the obvious of the fact that we're at a bigger venue with again the stands, the bathrooms, more space, the food and the parking lot and just the overall venue of it being bigger and better. So I think that was it.
I'm actually just checking an email regarding the use of the tablets.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to find it.
While you're checking that, Joe, I will give another little plug here to the website, which is if you go onto the site, you'll see a bunch of different things, but one of them is merch. And if you're interested in getting yourself a official 2026 World Square Foursquare 2026 Foursquare World Championship t-shirt, headband, shorts, or really any other apparel that isn't even listed, feel free to you can go ahead and sign up or get in touch with me through the site. And if you do it now, you'll have it by the championship, so you can wear it. I know a lot of us wear different attire for the event, so FYI on that one.
Okay.
Any luck, Joe? If not, I have another
Yes, yes,
random
yes, yes.
miscellaneous update. Okay.
Sub and okay, so right, so the wonderful personnel at the Bridge and Rec department did offer or brought up it. Nothing has been confirmed. Was that we could? An idea is to utilize tablets and TVs to show championship scores during the championship rounds.
Yeah.
Um, we have not discussed this topic lately, but now that we're a few months away, we're gonna start ironing out some more finer details, and we'll go from there.
That reminds me, when we end this glorious show, stay on, Joe, because I meant to mention something to you before we started, which is uh next steps to get in touch with Bridgeton Rec. And yeah, we need to basically just set up a call, all of us to get together and talk through, I think, some of these specifics. So I wanted to maybe just try to schedule that with you. But
Cool.
um, yeah, so I mean that's really everything for now. Obviously, at this point, we're very much focused on the World Championship. I know that this particular show is mainly dedicated to that, but similar to the website, like we are all things Foursquare. So I mean, we have I think I allude to this a lot, but we have notes and tabled agendas that we don't just have to do with the World Championship that we want to talk about just in Foursquare in general. And next show, I'd love to maybe think about schedule something in like mid-March. I really want to get a guest on to just spruce things up a little bit and change things up. And so more to come on that, and we definitely are working behind the scenes. I'm thinking we'll hopefully try to get an email out to like the email distribution list at some point within the next few weeks, which will probably include a link to this very video and maybe a few other things. But I can't reiterate enough. Please feel free to check out the site. And this isn't just our own selfish plug. It kind of is, but honestly,
It is,
there's all
but it's
all this
okay.
information is in the site. And obviously, if you're unsure about anything, especially again, pertaining to the layout, which I can see can be a little bit daunting at first, and a little confusing, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer any questions, go over anything with you guys. The last thing I want to mention is just a completely random, quirky thing, but I wanted to mention it. So we went on a Disney cruise last month. It was our first Disney cruise. It was awesome. But while we were there, I didn't even know. I sent you and Dan a screenshot of this. So there's many different activities, especially for kids, that they have on these cruises. Sports related, arts and crafts, like you just anything you can think of, game show, like learn how to draw Mickey, all this stuff. Guess what? Guess what? One of the activities was, and it wasn't just a one nighter. I was a 5 night cruise. I think it was 2 or 3 times. You guessed it. You guessed it right. Foursquare. So of course my son. I mean, I wanted to participate, but it was a kid's thing. So, um, my son participated, and he actually he got kind of he was a little pissed because he said they were just like not really playing the right way, and they didn't really follow the rules, and they were carrying, and so hey, I told, hey, listen, at least you got to play. At least they were playing, right? And maybe you can kind of try to teach them and show them like, hey, this is maybe how we play. Maybe this is a better way to play. Hey, he's 10, so yeah, that was a little difficult, but I think it was cool that there was Foursquare out there on the Disney cruise, and just wanted to mention in the spirit of this Foursquare show. So, Joe, did you have any last words? Pressure's on.
Nope.
No, okay. All right.
Nope.
How about this, Dan? Don't be mad at us, please. We don't be mad at us. How about that?
He's
You
mad
don't
at
care.
us.
You want him to be mad at you. You're ready for a fight. Well, that
Innocent
being
until
said,
proven guilty, buddy.
well, we will sign off for now. Thank you, everyone. Do all the things, subscribe, like, share, comment, go to the site, ask us any questions. Hey, We are one, two, we're about we're less than 3 months away. You know, you gotta we're less than 3 months away. What are we like? One, two, three, four, 10 weeks ish around there. I know it's
Hmm.
hard because if I'm in Massachusetts, you're in Maine. There's 2.5 feet of snow. It's the dead of winter. It just doesn't feel like Foursquare yet, but it'll be here before we know it. So thanks everyone for watching. Till next time.
Toodles, my poodles. If that made it in, I'd be so happy.